All right, JMC 6000 here in the JMC Garage for this week's JMC Garage Talk. And in this video, what I wanted to go over with the Maverick that I have in front of me, in fact, my very own personal 2022 Ford Maverick Hybrid, is actually in this video going over the current recall, the recall that everybody's been asking about, the recall that everybody's been wondering when Ford was going to send out a fix, when Ford was going to issue just a remedy for this recall. And I would say it's been about a year. Now finally Ford has issued a fix and is now taking care of the underhood fire recall for the Corsair, for the actually not for the Corsair yet, but for the Escape and for the Maverick. And this recall I'm referring to, I had the paperwork right here, just got this in the mail. This is the 2022 safety recall notice, for my 2022 Maverick, but it's a safety recall notice 23S27, and this recall applies to my vehicle, and basically it is the underhood engine fire recall 23S27. There is finally a fix, and here's what Ford now released for dealers to do. Software is now available for your 2021 to 2022 model year Corsair, 2020 to 2022 model year Escape, and 2022 to 2023 model year Maverick for those vehicles. And all they did was a PCM update. That's it. That's all they did was a PCM update. So my fear was when this recall was first going to be issued and coming out and all that they were going to take apart the engine, they were going to inspect the main bearings, they were going to inspect to see if there's anything that needed to be replaced. Maybe they had to put in some new crankshafts, because the idea behind this recall was the engine, the 2.5 liter that I have behind me, was shipped from the factory with crankshafts that were not fully polished, or they had some issues with them. And what was happening is that they would seize the main bearings, I believe it was the main bearings, and maybe not rod bearings, but it could have been rod bearings as well. But anyway, it would spin the rod bearings, maybe even spin the main bearings, and then all of a sudden, as a result of that, some of the rods would no longer be connecting rods, but they would be disconnecting rods, and it would protrude out of the block. And once the block was breached, or there was a hole, an inspection port in the block, it would actually leak out a lot of its oil and everything else. And if the engine was very hot, as it's leaking out those vapors of hot engine oil and everything coming out of the block, it could spark a fire. So that's what this whole issue and everything was about. Now, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. This recall only was effective for only a couple hundred engines, and Ford was able to take care of it quickly. But the NSTA and others were really looking for Ford to kind of step it up and do a little bit more to kind of mitigate and take care of this problem. So Ford did the best they could. The first part of this recall was done last year on my truck, but that was, for many others, the first part was they had to remove fins in the grille. So I'm going to tilt my camera down here. There is fins in this grille, or behind this grille here. There are actually air shutter fins. There are blades back there that actually open and close. And what Ford did is actually remove some of those fins within the grille. And underneath of the vehicle, it has a kind of a felt type of a skid guard or skid protection that doesn't really do much, but it just helps to smooth out the airflow as air travels underneath the vehicle, kind of an underbody protection. Well, Ford's idea was to actually drill holes, several holes, so this way if any excess oil or fluid was to leak out or get breached in the block and leak out, it had ways to exit very quickly instead of pulling up and causing a fire. Well, what I did on my vehicle was I totally took care of that altogether. What I mean by that is I removed that skid protection, that felt cheap, whatever you want to call it, underbody protection, and I totally removed it off my vehicle. threw it in the trash, never to be put back on the Maverick again. And then, unfortunately, my dealer did remove, without even me asking me or telling me, they did remove those 4 vanes or shutters off of the air shutter up front here. But anyway, so now we have a total fix taken care of this recall. In fact, I just got it done yesterday. Today is Saturday. Yesterday, I went to my local Ford dealer, had it done. And let me kind of share with you what the remedy is. I kind of already did, but basically customer requested FSA, so that would be the recall service number of 23S27 to be performed and verify the vehicle has an open FSA 23S27. The engine in this vehicle can fail prematurely, resulting in engine oil and or fuel vapors releasing into the underhood environment. Access the diagnostic port, which is the OBD2 port underneath the dash. Connected the FDRS and performed a powertrain control module software update as per the safety recall under the 23S27 instructions. So the body control model got updated as a result of this recall. I'm sorry, the engine control model got updated, but I also had another update done. Another recall was done for the body control module. Let me share with you what that recall was. So I had 2 recalls done on my truck yesterday. One was to finally take care of the underhood recall issue, which I'm surprised that's all it was software upgrade. It took Ford like almost, of course, after the recall was first issued, and then they did the fix of the shutters and of course showing the holes underneath the felt. But now, over a year later, from that to this point, talking about 10 months or so, it took Ford 10 months just to develop a software update? Really? That's all they did? I don't even know what the software update does. Does it kind of detect when the engine's about ready to explode and shut it off so it doesn't explode? I have no idea what the software update does. But anyway, so the body control module update addresses another recall that was done. If you guys want to write this down, this is recall 24S27. This recall requires an update to the body control module, accessing the diagnostic port, connected to FDRS, and performed a body control module software update as per the manufacturer regarding turn signals that will not indicate that you have a blown lamp or anything like that out. So basically what that recall was about was if you were to turn your turn signal on and let's say you have the front lamp or one of the rear lamps out, it wouldn't blink this super flash to let you know that one of the lamps are out. It would just continue this regular turn signal procedure of blinking the soft, slow blink that they usually do. So they did a recall to the body control module for, again, the turn signals. So anyway, both recalls have been done on the Maverick. Pretty much right now, my Maverick is fully up to date with all the recalls done. And I think, if I remember correctly, all the recalls done were, number one was the airbag issue. You guys remember that a lot of Mavericks had the airbag issue and the side curtain airbags that when they deploy, they would not deploy down far enough or something like that. They were too short. So Ford had to put in new side impact airbags. So that was first done. The other recall issue, again, was the first round of the fire recall where they had to drill the holes and take out the air vane shutters. Well, part of that was done, and then that wasn't good enough, so they had to develop some kind of software update that they did for the engine control module. So now that's finally closed and done. And then also the turn signal recall issue, and I believe there was another recall. I forget what it actually was. If I remember correctly. Oh, I forget what it was. Oh, wait. There was another recall that was done, and I had the mobile mechanic come out. Man, it'll come to me. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, regardless of which, all the recalls on the Maverick are done. My particular truck right now has 85,000 miles. And the only warranty I have left on this thing is on the hybrid component part of the warranty. So the ECVT transmission, all the the orange cables that you see in the video, the DC to DC converter, the battery, and every component related to that. That's all still covered under warranty under the, I believe it's 8-year, 100,000-mile hybrid component warranty. And that's pretty much the only warranty I have left. As of right now, I have another vehicle on order. I'm not going to be able to reveal that yet. Maybe I'll reveal that close to when it's going to be delivered, which should be about the first or second week in July. I have a production date already and a VIN number to go with that production date, which is in the first week and a half of June. I believe it's June 10th. It's when it's going to be produced, and then it's going to be shipped to my dealer. So if I have the truck still by then, this is going to be traded in. I totally own this thing, so I'm going to be using the positive equity in this truck towards the next vehicle. And but this truck has been an absolute blessing, and it's really helped our family out. But unfortunately, I have to go with something bigger. It's hard to fit me, my wife, and all 3 of my kids, which are all teenagers now, almost as tall as me. In fact, my oldest son is actually a little bit taller than me, and I'm 5'10", and he's pushing almost 6 foot. Trying to sit him in the back of the Maverick, plus my other 2 kids, it's and this being our only vehicle, it's become increasingly tight, and it's hard to take family trips in this thing because of, everybody as tall as they are, and teenagers and everything. They all want their own space. So again, we had to get a 3-row SUV, and that's what's coming. And I'll reveal that here soon. Excited about what's going to happen there. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I upload every single Wednesday morning and every single Saturday afternoon with a jmcGarage talk video, just like what you're watching right now. So I want to wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day. Anyway, you guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, please leave that in the comments section. Any comments about maybe your Maverick. Again, the recall for the fire recall has now been updated by Ford. All it is a PCM update. So go see your local Ford dealer and get that taken care of along with the other recall for the turn signal. Now, one thing before I go. Many people have complained on the forums, especially on the Maverick forums, that after they had some of these recalls done, especially the latest batch of recalls, that their Maverick would act funny, that it would go into limp home mode and do these weird things, kind of die on the highway and everything else. I've never, ever had an issue with any of the latest recalls, including the one that was just done with my Maverick and how it performs. Still performs the exact same way as it did when it left the factory 85,000 miles ago. I don't have, I never ran into any of those issues. So don't be afraid to get the recalls done. And if anything comes up, I believe Ford will take care of that for you. So don't be afraid to get the recalls done. That, save the recalls, they need to be done. And and again, if anything comes up or if any issues happen, I'm sure Ford will take care of that. As for me, I haven't had any of those issues as far as going into limp mode or anything like that. So, all right, you guys leave a question, comment. Maybe you have a Maverick and maybe you're looking to get these recalls done. The updates are now available, so go to your local Ford dealer, get those things done, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.